Today, the day after Yom Kippur, although we're getting ready for Sukkot, yet deserves a little attention on today's day itself. Today traditionally is called God's Tag, God's Day. Now one wonders, isn't every day God's Day? What's so special about the day after Yom Kippur? So I saw a number of interesting thoughts worth sharing. Throughout the season, from the beginning of Elul, we talk Melech Basar, that the God is in the field. From Rosh Hashanah to Yom Kippur, we refer to God in terms of King. HaMelech HaKadosh, we say in the prayers, in the Amidah. As of yesterday, last night Arvit, we went back to the traditional Baruch Atah Hashem, excuse me, Hakel HaKadosh, the Holy God. So since we go back to now referring to God as in terms of Hakel, God, so that's why it's called God's Tag. We're back to our traditional relationship. Reb Sacha Ber of Belz brings a Talmud, a Jerusalem Talmud, where it says that on Yom Kippur, the high priest, the Kohen Gadol, would at 10 occasions pronounce the Shem HaMeforish, God's full name, which is forbidden on a general basis. So it says in Yerushalmi, those who were close to the Kohen Gadol and they were able to hear it clearly, says Neufel al Panav, they would actually fall down on their face and prostrate themselves. Those who were a little further but heard vaguely, they would then pronounce what we say after Shema, after the first line, Shema Yisrael Hashem Elokeinu Hashem Echad, and in Yom Kippur we say it loud, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusay Li'olam Vod, may God's name and His kingdom be exalted and blessed forever. But as soon as they heard the name, and they would forget it. So the next day they would ask each other, anyone remembers the name of God that was mentioned yesterday? And they couldn't. And therefore it's called God's name, because that was the name of God which was mentioned yesterday that nobody knows. Pinchas of Koritz, one of the holy tzaddikim, says a beautiful thought. It says in the Gemara Baba Basra that eventually Asidim, Omar Rabbi Elazar says, Asidim tzaddikim she'oimrim lefneim kadosh kederech she'oimrim lefnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu. In the future we will say kadosh, the term which is referred to Hashem. We say kadosh, 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 Hashem. We're talking to God in terms of holy, distant, different, separated, which kadosh means. So the same term will be applied to tzaddikim eventually. Why? Because they will be so completely committed to God that they become one with Hashem. Now on Yom Kippur, we were all forgiven. We all start with a clean slate. We are all tzaddikim. We're all righteous. And therefore, God's name. Everybody is called with God's name. Everybody said Kadosh. Everybody could be referred to in the holiest, the loftiest terms as possible. Now you wonder, what means a tzaddik? Let me give you a snippet of what means a tzaddik. For years, maybe 25 years, every Erev Yom Kippur, I should say, every Yom Kippur night before Kol Nidrei, as I was coming to the shul, young Israel, a woman, a certain Mrs. Miriam Hollander, would come over to me without fail every year. And she would tell me, Rabbi, while in a concentration camp for 4 years, I worked as a seamstress for the Nazi war machine Yamach Shemam. I was a very good seamstress, and they needed me. So they kept me alive, but barely. Just enough to be able to work. We were hungry. Group of women and girls all working unending hours, starving. But those Nazis, they knew how to inflict pain upon us. Their cruelty was unimaginable. Came Yom Kippur, they would offer us a festive meal, just to entice us, knowing that it is Yom Kippur. And with tears in her eyes, she would say, happy tears, I should say, Rabbi, gearbeitet hab ich. I had no choice. I had to work on Yom Kippur. Aber gegessen hab ich nicht. But I did not eat. I fasted the day, although this food was in front of me. Rabbeinu Shel Olam, for such tzaddikus, this is a tzaddik of the highest nature, of the highest level. Just for tzaddikim like this, and there were many. We deserve already God's talk. You should reveal yourself today into this world. And we should celebrate this Shabbos with Mashiach and the Beis HaMikdash with your ultimate revelation. Good Shabbos.